This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. I'm Abriana Herron. Indiana's hospitals are enduring financial challenges that threaten their ability to provide services across the state, according to a report released Tuesday by the Indiana Hospital Association. The Kaufman Hall report indicates that financial pressures related to Medicaid shortfalls and rising costs contributed to many hospitals operating with a below national average operating margin. IHA President Scott Tittle says the challenges are especially difficult for rural hospitals in Indiana, which have closed 15 obstetrics units since 2020.
When you hear about the strained resources that our hospital members are facing right now with the closing of OB units and potentially closing of hospitals in the future and consolidation, we're talking about access. And I think everybody's in support of access.
Overall, the report states hospitals across Indiana saw higher expenses than revenues last year. Huntington University has been awarded a $125,000 planning grant from Lilly Endowment Inc. to explore how to best use artificial intelligence. The one-year grant will help the university evaluate the challenges and opportunities related to AI, plan initiatives to address those matters, and prepare a proposal for an implementation grant Lilly Endowment is making available. The grant comes through the endowment's Artificial Intelligence in Higher Education initiative. Steel Dynamics reported fourth quarter earnings on Monday that beat analyst expectations. The Fort Wayne-based company, one of the largest steel producers and metal recyclers in the United States, reported fourth quarter net income of $266 million. Fourth quarter revenue was $4.4 billion, compared with $3.9 billion the year before. Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand is made possible by the following.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media podcast network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise@ibj.com to learn more.
Construction on the $35 million housing project in Vincennes expects to have its first 24-unit building ready for move-ins by June. Inside Indiana Business's Gary Dick has more.
The Beer House Flats apartment complex is a 5-building, 240-unit development located on the southeast side of Vincennes. The 1- and 3-bedroom units will range from 890 to more than 1,300 square feet. The apartments will also offer its residents easy access to US 41 and nearby amenities. The city of Vincennes and Knox County officials partnered with Simplified Developments on the project in 2023. The company designed the apartments and is overseeing the construction through its sister company, Elite Construction Services. Local firms and construction labor also involved in the project. The housing development received a $3.1 million award from the Indiana Finance Authority in 2024 to support residential infrastructure, along with TIF-funded infrastructure assistance and a tax abatement approved by the Vincennes City Council. Pre-leasing for the apartments is expected to begin in February. Officials say interest has been strong, with a growing list of prospective tenants requesting notifications once leasing opens up. Developers plan to make roughly 24 new units available every 4 weeks or so through the summer and fall, with full completion expected in early 2027. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Greg Muse, a 1982 chemical engineering alumnus of Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology, and his wife, Elizabeth, have donated $2 million to the school to establish an endowed scholarship program in her name. Greg Muse says he wanted to create the scholarship program because Rose-Hulman helped shape both his professional trajectory and his approach to problem solving, collaboration, and perseverance, which is something he wants other students to experience. Shelbyville-based Knauf Insulation Inc. has completed efforts to make all of its products formaldehyde-free, with the removal of manufacturing equipment that uses the compound to make insulation from its facilities. In its place is Knauf's proprietary plant-based binder that the company says is more sustainable in the manufacturing process. In an interview with Inside Indiana Business, CEO Matt Parrish says the company had spent the last decade working to remove formaldehyde from about 90% of its products, but he says the last 10% was the most difficult.
We've got a stated goal across the globe of being chemicals of concern or red list chemical free in our production, and we take that seriously. That's not just a PowerPoint or a poster statement. That's what we live and breathe.
Knauf is the first fiberglass insulation manufacturer to become completely free of formaldehyde, which is a commonly used compound in all types of products, the company said. I'm Abriana Herron for Inside Indiana Business Radio On Demand.